All right. Shall we start?
Sure.
Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to our Mentor Spotlight series where we get to meet the incredible people behind the Nepal US Hackathon 2026 and what actually drives them to be part of this community. That being said, super duper excited today because we have one of our mentors on board, Mr. Nitesh Pant, lead aide, Devdas Lab. First of all, thank you so much, Nitesh Dai. Despite our difficulties, you agreed to give me your time and yeah, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for agreeing.
Of course, the pleasure is all mine.
Oh, thank you so much. So let's just get straight into it. Can you please briefly introduce yourself and what is it that you exactly do and what your journey has been like so far?
100%. So I'm Nitesh. I'm half the duo behind Dave Dash Labs. We're an applied AI research and dev company, which means we do two things. We make products for automating research for consulting firms, and we occasionally do services, so AI tech implementation services for other consulting firms. And we've been doing this for about a year and a half now. Prior to this, I was a management consultant at Roland Berger, based out of their Boston office. Prior to that, I graduated from Dartmouth in 2023 with a degree in economics. I grew up in Tangadi in Sudarpasi, Nepal, and came to the States in 2018.
Wow, that's amazing. So I was seeing that and then you graduated from economics. So how did the switch happen? What made you realize you wanted to do this?
Um, I did go to a liberal arts school,
Yeah.
um, and I graduated in economics, and I've always been fascinated by building stuff. At Hurt, I'm a builder and a product builder. And so after Burger, I was looking around thinking, what's the next thing to do?
Yeah.
And I realized that artificial intelligence is going to have a huge change on how society functions, especially around the one domain that knew, which was consulting. So I decided to go all in and see how AI can be applied to consulting. And this was back in June of 2024,
Hmm.
just as people were getting more into AI. And it's been a very interesting journey ever since.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And you said how you shifted, right, with consulting and then AI just starting back then. And now we see that AI is booming. It's being incorporated into everything and everywhere. So how do you feel about that and how this is going to take place in the future?
It's great. AI is everywhere, and I'm pretty sure in this hackathon, everyone's going to be using some sort of vibe coding, which is totally fine
Huh?
and I highly encourage. And what's interesting is there's a lot of good things about AI, and there's a lot of bad things about AI. There's a lot of hype that's been built around what AI can and cannot do. I am overall always on the optimistic side of things that the AI will is a positive force for humanity.
Hmm.
So I'm very optimistic about the future, if
Yeah.
that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. It does. It definitely does. And yes, hopefully everything will be optimistic. I think I'm pretty safe, right, as a nurse. Do you think I'm safe or not very safe?
So right now we're in the age of digital AI.
Yeah.
What comes after digital AI is physical AI.
Yeah. Yes.
What is physical AI is robots, humanoids, and at that point we might have robotic nurses. But for the time being, you're safe.
Yeah. For the time being, I'm safe. Oh, okay. So I need to get this done fast.
Yeah, maybe like 10 years.
10 years. All right. So that apart, right? I'm sure you have a lot of things going on with you right now and this and that, work, home. So despite being this busy, and I know how schedules work like in the States, especially for a professional, what made you prioritize your time towards the Nepal Youth Hackathon? What made you say yes to being part of this project?
So it goes back to the ethos of founding Devdas Labs. Our unofficial motto is "Ao dami kam garou," and we're proudly a group of all Nepali hackers, and we're building at the forefront of AI. And so it's always amazing to connect with other folks, especially Nepali folks, who are enthusiastic about building. And if I can, Dave Dash Labs is built on the idea that talent is uniformly distributed, but
Hmm.
opportunities are not, and that Nepali IT talent can perform at uh, amazing Silicon Valley standards. And the idea that there is Silicon Peaks in Kathmandu and in Nepal. And so that if there's something that's happening with all Nepali tech folks around the world, there's no reason for me to say no to that.
Yeah, and that's amazing, right? Like you said, we have the talent, we have the potential, but we are all very scattered. And Devdas Labs, it sounds amazing how you've all come together as Nepali engineers and being proud about it. So I hope it grows and grows and grows into more. And you never know, someone from the hackathon might be interning or joining your company someday.
Yeah, that would be great. All open to it.
All open to it. So, you mentioned that while founding this, your motive was like come together, let's come together and राम्रो काम गरौँ, right? So,
I mean, Ramro, there's a difference between Ramro and Dami. It's Ao Dami Kanbaru.
दामी काम गरौँ, sorry.
Not good, it's great work.
It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Continue, please continue.
So, आओ दामी काम गरौँ, not just राम्रो काम, right? And so I'm sure you've mentored a lot of folks down the road. So you being a mentor in this hackathon, what are you expecting out of it? Or how would you suggest someone to approach your mentor conversations? Because we have these time constraints, right? And there are only so many questions a participant can ask you in that time slot.
Good question. Yes, we do have a time constraint, and there's just so many questions you can ask, and they can ask me in the time slot. I'd say there's no such thing as bad questions, so always ask any questions that's on your mind,
Mhm.
and think in any way that I can help you. I'm always happy to help. Any, I'd say, be open to a Socratic dialogue. I found that asking a lot of questions back is a great way to answer questions. So that's my philosophy of answering.
Mhm.
And in the process, they can also like ask questions back, right? So
Yeah.
it's a back and forth rather than me having all the answers, which oftentimes I don't. In fact, most of the times I don't have any answer. It's you can use me as a sounding board and then get ideas from there.
Yeah, yes, from you. Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. And throughout your journey, have you also personally been part of a lot of hackathons or mentored anything before, or is this your first time?
Here and there, so we have hosted a few hackathons internally at Dash Labs. I've judged a few in New York and over the world, in remote all over the world. So just a bit, not too much.
Yeah, sounds enough actually. So, having been part of so many different hackathons, what's a common mistakes you see participants making generally that actually stops them to reaching that full potential of the MVP product or something?
I've seen that people underestimate how much time they have
Mm,
and what they can accomplish in that given amount of time. So the whole premise of a hackathon is you have a limited amount of time and you're trying to solve something.
yeah.
And so given that time constraint, there's always a time constraint. What can you do? So the better you can plan it out and be like, okay, we're gonna have this is our must-haves, this is our nice to have, there's should haves. If you can have a P0, P1, P2, that often plays in your favor once you start building.
Yeah. So always prioritize your end goal, basically, right? Despite the
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
constraint.
Or another way to put that would be start with the end in mind.
Start from the end, yeah. And I think we people also tend to hyperfixate on a small problem during these times, right? I mean, I always do that because you have this big thing going on and you focus on a small problem, and by the time you realize that you are spending that time is already over. So how would you suggest not to do that?
Take a step back and ask the whys.
Yeah.
If you ask more whys, you can see the bigger picture, and
Mm.
that gets you out of that rabbit hole.
Out of that rabbit hole, exactly. So take a step back, always look at the big picture and think we're gonna make a dummy product, right? I'll just Okay, that being said, right, the Great Nepali Diaspora, and one of the main things why Nepali Leaders Network is organizing this hackathon is, like we already talked about, bringing together that scattered group of people, right? And me personally, if I was an emerging IT technician or an IT aspirant, and me getting to speak with someone who has 5+ years of experience in this field is like gold mine. I'm getting this firsthand. So, how would you suggest the participants in this hackathon to get the most out of it, not just by learning something new or learning a new code language, but also the whole networking side of it?
I'd say you gotta have an objective for why you're networking.
Mm-hmm,
What do you want out of the person? Or a better way to frame that is how can that person help you?
mm-hmm,
And so if you have like one ask from that person, which is you should always just have like one simple ask. It can be complicated, but just like boil it down to one ask and have an objective in the networking that often works a lot way. So and you'll notice that I mean I was looking at the mentor list and so there's people from so many different fields, even within the tech field.
mm-hmm.
And note that everyone can help you in a different way.
Yeah.
So your ask for one person might be very different from the ask that you're gonna have for the other person.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, I interviewed so many different people throughout this month, and I never noticed that IT has so many different spectrums that you can get into, right? So we're getting all of the representation. Yeah, you were saying something.
Yeah, yeah. Continue, please.
Yeah, so it has so many different representation of what you can get into and how you can get into. So that would also, I think, be a very good window to look up on for early career professionals right now.
Yeah, it's a very diverse field and it's rapidly changing as we speak. And depending on where, who's working where, everyone's going to have a different perspective,
Mm-hmm.
depending on how senior they are, how junior they are, how much experience they have, how much of a diverse spectrum of experiences they have had, what their tech stack is, what they work on. Everyone's going to have a different perspective, and like I'm again assuming the folks here are early career folks who are participating in this hackathon. I guess the hardest thing to do when you're in your earliest stages of career is answer the question, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want, out of this life? You have like one life. You can live it the way you want. What do you want, right? Where do you want to work? Why do you want to work there? For what's the end goal? And these kind of questions can be, these are interesting questions to ask um, folks that have lived different experiences from you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that doesn't have to be one ask, right? Because you can always ask questions about people's experiences, which I highly encourage folks to do. And I guess like soak it all in.
Yeah, and then it's also like you get to live different lives through by asking these questions without actually living them. So
Yeah,
you could possibly envision that part as well. And
yeah.
we talked a lot about why one should get into hackathon, but the spectrum pool of this hackathon, right? Like you said, based on their experience, based on where they are from, they're going to have different perspectives. And that's what a hackathon team is going to look like. You never know if someone's straight out of high school, someone might be interning at a hotshot company, or someone might already be working in tech for 1 to 2 years. And this is the age where people often get pompous about, yes, I know everything. So, how would you recommend or suggest them to work as a team to get the most out of their product and their time?
Um, how can you work best as a team to get the most out of your time? I guess it's just basic teamwork, communicate, develop, take ownership, take agency, trust your team, and just work on it. Just do it. Just
Just,
do it,
just do it and be open to what the other people say as well, right?
Yeah, obviously. Good
Oh.
team.
Okay, so that being said, if you were working right now, right? And you yourself have hosted a lot of hackathons and been judged a couple actually. So, what do you think is the selling point of this hackathon for people all around the world right now?
It has a very strong Nepali tie to it. That's the biggest selling point. It's like you're working and you're networking, as the Nepal Leaders Network implies. You're networking with Nepali folks, Nepali origin folks in different parts of the world, in different stages of their career, and you're getting input and feedback from so many different folks. I guess the appeal then is the diversity of opinions, with the common fact that they're all like tied to Nepal in some way.
Yes, and you find your people ultimately, right? Because I think that gets a little bit hard when you move across the country and then don't have any direction to go to. So hopefully this will be a community that they can depend on in some certain way and then get
Yeah,
the
100%, 100% right.
yeah. Thank you so much. So yeah, we are almost out of time. I did not realize how fast that went by. Thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this. And before we end this call, one last question, right? After everything we've spoken about, this hackathon, the selling point, the pros of it, there might still be some people who are like, not this year. I'm not yet ready for this hackathon. What would you say to them?
Just do it.
Just do it. Just go for it.
Do it. Like what's the worst that gonna happen? Either you don't get in, you don't win, you get in, you don't win, but you do good, you get in and you win. What's wrong about applying? Just do it.
Just do it. And 5 years down the line, no one's gonna belittle you saying, "Oh, you lost that hackathon," right? But you'll
Yeah,
always positive comes out of it.
yeah. Just do it.
And hopefully meet a mentor that will guide you through all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Nidisa. It was amazing talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. And I think we are doing this for the community, but it is also very important to have people on board who are passionate enough to say, yes, I want to give back to the community and I want to prioritize that time. So thank you for being that person. And I'll see you from March 27 to 29. Any lasting thoughts on Nepali Leaders Network or the upcoming hackathon?
Nothing on my mind right now, really.
Nothing on your mind right now. All
Yeah.
right, thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too.